Hi everyone, if you want to be a smarter trader, welcome to my channel. After a long time, we're back on this channel to embark on a new journey together and continue the video making process with a greater power and speed. Today, I have a special surprise for you. We're going to talk about scalping on a small time frames and present an automated strategy for that. The strategy is fully coded and we will explore the code and backtesting process from start to finish to see if it is profitable and how it can be executed. The first thing you need to know is that whether you have any strategy or indicator in mind, we can code it for you. Just send me a message on my Telegram. Now, in this strategy, when we're scalping, we shouldn't look at distant past data like a month or 6 months ago. In scalping with a 1 minute time frame, only a few hours of past data are relevant, not distant historical events. Why do I say this? Because you don't scalp in every market condition. You only do it when the market has a clear trend. When a trend is present, you implement this robot or strategy and start scalping, just as I've done many times and I'm now sharing with you. Always remember, the trend is your friend. An important thing is that you need to find currencies that are currently suitable for scalping. You enter the crypto screener section in TradingView. This section includes 3 parts: stock screener, forex screener, and crypto screener. In the crypto screener, you can filter currencies based on trading volume. For example, you can select currencies that have had over $100 million in trading volume in the past 24 hours, meaning currencies with suitable volumes. Then specify the type of trading. For instance, you can choose between spot, futures, or perpetual. I usually work with perpetual and use this option. Next, there's an option called volatility in the screener sections that, when activated, shows the volatility changes of currencies. Here you'll see a list of currencies that have had significant changes in the past 24 hours, and I've also filtered their volume. You can also filter by your preferred exchange. For example, I use Binance, but you can select other exchanges as well. Even if you are active on other exchanges, you can use Binance as a good example since exchanges are often interconnected through arbitrage. Now, here's our 45 currencies displayed that each have had over $100 million in trading and have high volatility. From these, you can select currencies for scalping. Let's assume you choose the currency. For example, if we want to scalp on NOT or another currency, first we need to look for a clear trend on a chart. For example, if you see a clear trend on a chart, you can activate scalping. Suppose we've chosen NOT and plan to start scalping from 8 a.m. In this example, you'll see that this currency has had a downward trend from the morning. If we set the time frame to the global time zone, we might see that from 4 or 5 a.m. the scalper trade was executed automatically. This scalper takes only positions with a risk to reward ratio of 2.5, so you can change it whenever you want. Many friends have asked if in these profitable strategies transaction fees are considered or not. Yes, transaction fees are also taken into account. Suppose I have initial capital of $100 and enter a position with a 1% risk. That means I lose $1 per stop and gain $2.5 per successful position. In this section, we see the results of the strategy. The drawdown, profit, and net profit are displayed. These results are calculated for the time frame from around 4 or 5 a.m. to about 4 p.m. global time. This process took about 11 hours for the scalper to execute and trade on this currency. We should not expect always positive results, especially when the market is in a range without a clear trend. In a ranging market, scalping is not beneficial, but when the market is moving in a specific direction, you can activate scalping in line with that trend. This is exactly what I do, and the results are outstanding. In this section, you can manually set the market direction. For example, you can tell the robot to only take short positions in the market because you've identified a downward trend. For instance, when you check the 5-minute time frame and see a downward trend, you can decide to activate this strategy for scalping in the 1-minute time frame. This strategy enters different positions based on several conditions. One important aspect is that you can specify in the settings what inputs and directions scalping should occur. For example, you can set the robot to enter trades based on pin bars in the direction of the trend or disable these inputs. This robot allows you to set specific parameters for different markets. You can execute this strategy for 3, 5, or 6 hours when you are sure in which direction the market is moving. It can be fully automated and connected to the exchange to trade with correct risk and money management under your supervision. The next point pertains to another section. Up to this point, we were discussing pin bar inputs and scalping. Now we come to filtering. Filters are specifically designed to exclude undesirable trades. The active trend line is actually trend lines that you see on the chart. These trend lines enter into positions with their breakout. Two trend lines with different settings are considered because I intend to scalp. Therefore, I set the pivot settings to the smallest amount possible to enter positions faster. After entry with trend lines, you can also add support and resistance to the strategy so that the position is entered with the break of support or resistance. This can enhance the profit. However, one of the main components of this strategy is pivot confirm, which enters a position after a direction change and pivot confirmation. Another section filters big candles. This means if the stop is behind a pivot and it is too far from the pivot around more than 2 ATR, this strategy filters out that position and does not enter the trade. Now I want to explain a bit more. When a pivot is confirmed, the strategy places an order below the low of the confirmed candle. If the price continues to decline, this order is activated. This is a very important point to consider. The order is valid for up to 3 candles. If the price does not reach this order within 3 candles, the order is cancelled. However, if the price hits the order, the position is activated. In this strategy, you can set how far above or below the candle this order should be placed. This is done based on percentage of ATR. The closer this value is to 0, the order moves upward and is placed slightly below the low of the candle. I can even set orders to be placed after the high and low of the candle, or after the close of the candle, or after the open of the candle. In the other words, I can specify that whenever the entry condition is met, the order is placed exactly at the desired position. The strategy can enter a position with limit or market orders or stop orders. This is a complex coding topic. For example, suppose I found a model where the input is placed below the low of the candle and after activation moved downward, although it might have hit the stop. This is the process we follow in this strategy. This strategy is one of the most advanced scalping methods, and relying on coding and market structure, you can enter positions effectively. If you have a specific strategy in mind that you want to code, or if you want access to these strategies, please send me a message on my Telegram. For instance, in the past 10 to 12 hours, With the settings applied, this strategy has achieved a 3.5% profit. By adjusting the settings, I can change the type of profitability as well. For example, I can remove support and resistance and set it so that the position is not entered with the break of support and resistance. Additionally, I can adjust the settings so that the order is based on close of the candle. This means that when the entry condition is met, the order is placed with a certain distance from the close as a percentage of ATR. If the order is set as a stop order, it will enter the position upon activation. Also, I can adjust the distance to be closer to zero so that the order is placed exactly at the close point. This can optimize the profit percentage. If desired, I can adjust the settings so that if the ATR distance is negative, the order in the downward trend is placed above the close point as a limit. You can similarly use these settings for highs and lows as well. So if the price returns to the desired position, the order is placed and you can earn more profit. The next addition to this strategy is the use of the range filter, which operates with settings of 50 and 1. This filter helps in identifying market movement characteristics and prevents entering short positions in pullback trends. You can use this filter or disable it. Adding this filter to the strategy has changed the number of trades and profit percentage. But you should know that in many cases, these filters reduce the number of trades and increase the profit. Additionally, another filter I've added is related to using candles. You can specify a channel to determine how positions are entered. For example, if you set the channel with around 100 candles in a 1-minute time frame, the strategy will only enter a short position if the price is in the upper half of the channel. The period used for drawing the candles, the number of candles considered, is adjustable. For instance, you can use 200 past candles to draw the channel and only enter positions in the upper range of the channel. This channel is drawn automatically and updates with new candles and real-time market prices. Furthermore, the direction aspect is also noteworthy, so that the strategy enters positions based on this channel and in its direction. This method can help you respond more effectively to the market and select better positions. In this strategy, one key aspect is examining the channel slope angle. If the slope of the channel line is greater than 0.6, the strategy will allow entry into a short position. Moreover, in channel recognition, the area where the price is located is also important. Specifically, you should be in the upper area of the channel to enter a short position. For example, if the last position taken was in the lower range of the channel, the position will not be automatically selected, but you can decide whether to use it or not. This scalping strategy is particularly fast and precise, including multi-time frame Heikin-Ashi filters. Using this filter, you can check different time frames and use higher time frames to confirm the trend direction. For example, if Heikin-Ashi candles in higher time frames show an upward trend, a short position will not be activated. Additionally, the strategy includes various stop-loss types that you can utilize. These stops include trailing stops, stops with fixed risk, and oversized stops that aid in risk management. The different features of this strategy will be fully explained in separate videos. Another addition to our strategy is the use of the UT-bot indicator for determining take profit. This way, instead of setting a specific take profit, you can remove the take profit type and only use stop losses. This indicator automatically follows the price movement, and as long as the price does not hit This indicator, your position remains open. This method allows you to benefit from large gains in scalping. For example, when pivots are confirmed, your position usually remains until the end of the downward leg, and during heavy drops, these positions will stay active. For instance, in about 12 hours, this strategy using the UT bot has achieved an 8% profit. This method allows you to earn significant profits with minimal risk. This strategy is one of the most advanced scalping methods, and by relying on coding and market structure, you can enter positions effectively. If you have a specific strategy you want to code, or if you want access to these strategies, please send me a message on my Telegram. Wishing you success. Goodbye.